Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris and it was me. I was Ghostface. Scream Resurrection just finished airing its entire season last night, or well, 10 minutes ago for me. I am a huge Scream fanatic, and anything related to the property I am automatically interested in and had to check it out. This is season 3, however, it's not connected to anything that was done in season 1 or 2 that premiered on MTV. Working as a complete reboot, giving you new characters, a new Ghostface, and a brand new story to get the horror fan in you geeking out. So what I'm going to be doing here, guys, is giving you my full spoiler-free thoughts on this. Then towards the end of the video I will go into some spoiler talk. Don't worry, I'll make it very obvious when I'm going to talk spoilers, so if you're still curious to what's going to happen but don't want to be spoiled, I got your back. And then I'm going to stab it. But most importantly, let me know your thoughts down below, because this season, man, ugh. But I am curious to hear what you guys think about this. So starting off, I have to be upfront and say I apologize to the people I made fun of for season 1 and 2. Once I made a video talking about this third season coming up, how it was a complete reboot. It was going to use the original Ghostface mask. It was going to have the original voice who was in the movies in this show. I geeked out and said we don't need to listen to that trash that didn't even have the original Ghostface mask. And then a bunch of you spam me saying, Chris, no, check out the show. It's good. And gosh darn it, you guys were absolutely right. That show finished it in like 2 days. It was riveting and everything a Scream fan could have really wanted. So if you were skeptical like me about those first 2 seasons and didn't want to see them, go check them out. They're on Netflix. Highly recommend. But now getting on to season 3 that has nothing to do with that. Wah, wah, wah. Look, there are definitely things that are very enjoyable in this season, had me very happy and entertained throughout it. But I'm not gonna lie and say out of everything Scream related, from the movies to the other 2 seasons to this has to be the thing on the bottom of the list, unfortunately. But I'm not gonna go ahead and call it garbage or trash or a complete waste of time, because like I said, there are redeeming things about this. So let me go ahead and give you some of the good. For one, this show having only 6 episodes allowed them to have a higher budget where it mattered. The cinematography is pretty good in here. You have actors that actually have recognizable faces like Keke Palmer, even RJ Cyler, who was most recently the Blue Power Ranger in the Power Rangers movie. But the stuff to me that really stuck out were the fact that you did get to use the original costume. You had the voice by Roger L. Jackson, the original Ghostface, which every time he is on the other line just saying the things he says in his bloody, gory, deep, growly voice, it gives you chills and it reminds you of the movie. When getting to these characters finally getting face to face with Ghostface, it is some of the bloodiest, goriest deaths in the entire series, not just in the show. Also comparing it to the actual movies, the way people die in this show is creative. It is fun to watch. You are going to squeal. You're gonna see blood. You'll see bones. You'll feel the pain some of these characters are going through as they're breathing their last breaths. And really, that alone to me makes it worth a watch. If it's only 6 episodes and you just want to see someone put on the Ghostface costume and do gory, bloody things, you're gonna have a really good time. But now jumping to my negatives and why I wasn't all that satisfied with this season is because the 6 episodes really lacked in telling your story. Everything felt super rushed. All these characters didn't even feel like they were developed. All the friendships didn't feel real. The 2 romantic parties did not feel like they had any chemistry. Also, when characters were slashed off, you did not feel any sort of pain for them, because this show did not do a good enough job of building these characters for you to like them, admire them, and feel the pain when they're taken off the show. There's also a lot of logical issues in here that you just scratch your head of why aren't you just doing this? Or moments of when Ghostface is on the floor and 2 characters decide to bicker and batter instead of actually pointing their weapon down and unmasking this fool. But the show is purposely creating frustrating moments like that and just calling them horror homages, because we know Scream is sort of meta and a commentary on current horror movies. Which, jumping off that, this incarnation of Scream did a horrible, poor job with its meta horror movie commentary. It is so in-your-face, bland, not creative, throwing out words like final girl, the black person always dies first. Oh, if you make love, you're gonna die first. No alcohol, no drugs, you're gonna be the first to die. Things that have been said countless times. There's nothing new added to the conversation. They throw in the word reboot, but don't establish the new rules for a reboot. At the same time, they try and throw in the themes of black horror movies, like with what Jordan Peele is doing, because this cast is very black-centric and takes place in a very black-influenced society, but it fails on all fronts fronts to make any sort of comments on that type of horror movie other than just listing off things that happen in them and calling yourself creative for doing that. Also, the twists and turns that this season decides to take have no buildup, have no real repercussions. Once masks come off and motives are revealed, you're just like, oh my god, I think we have run the course of Scream and there's really nothing that can surprise us or give us that awe feeling like when we saw Billy Loomis or Sidney's brother in the third movie come out. I really hate bashing and taking this season down because I was so hyped for it, and it took us almost 3 years to finally see this happen. But like I said, there was a reason they announced it 2 weeks before it aired and then just threw it at the audience in 3 nights, and now we're gonna completely forget about it. They had no faith in this. They were trying to use star power, the Scream brand recognition, a very sloppy handed together story, but some great creative hard takedowns to make you go, hey, at least you get this. So before jumping into my spoiler thoughts, I don't really have a rating system for TV shows. I guess maybe I have to start making one up, especially when Child's Play starts coming out. So I'll recommend you this season of Scream if you like B-level straight to DVD horror movies, because that's really what it feels like. If you honestly just care about someone putting on the mask, holding a knife, and going around doing some creative bloody things, then you're gonna get what you want, and it's only 6 hours, so you're not investing that much time compared to all these other shows we have today. Anything compared to season 1 or 2 or any of the other movies, you're not going to find it here, Chief. But now what we're going to get into is full spoiler territory, so if you have not seen Scream Season 3, please click away. You can stop watching this video. Leave a like before you leave, though. If you missed it on TV, they're going to air it again July 13th on VH1, and if not, I'm pretty sure it'll end up on Netflix by the end of the year. Okay, so now that it's all the people who have finished watching this season, I can't believe the twists and turns this decided to take. For one, I kind of felt like it was going to be the goth chick. I'm sorry, this season did not make me care enough about the character's name, so I'm just gonna call her what she is, the goth chick. Because she came off pretty cool and interesting, and she was supposed to kind of be like the Randy of this show. You know Randy, the character from Scream that knew all the movie stuff, came up with the rules and said, don't do this, don't do that. I know my horror movies. She was kind of like that, but she just came off so pandering and dumb. Like, this is real life, girl. I understand in the Scream world, we have these moments where people bring up horror movies and like, well, if it was like prom night, then this would happen, but this might be a Nightmare on Elm Street situation, so you might have to do this. Whenever that does happen in a Scream movie or TV show, it comes off natural and the characters are just talking about it. In this, it's someone literally died 5 minutes ago and then someone saying, well, if this is a horror movie, then we can't do this. You have to be the final girl. I'd be like, girl, my friend just died. Why are you still talking about movies? So after like the 100th time she referenced the horror movie, I'm like, she's really pushing these rules and this new agenda. Oh dang, she's the killer. And she honestly just came off like a less interesting version than the killer from Scream 2. Not Billy Loomis's mom, but Timothy Olyphant, whose motive in that movie was that he was gonna blame horror movies, that media has tainted his mind, and that's why he became Ghostface. Honestly, Scream 2 did that way better, more believable, and his psychoness when it was coming out, and the whole ending dialogue he had with Sidney there, you just believe it, like, man, this guy is crazy and he really is gonna blame the movies. This girl just came off as a poor diet ripoff version of that. And to me, there's nothing interesting about a Ghostface who does it just because, hey, I was born crazy, so I was meant to do this. That's not fun. But the part that actually did get me and surprised me, and I was like, oh my god, was Dion was switched. It was actually Marcus the entire time. That was a really cool dynamic. It caught me off guard. I thought it was a nice little surprise, but there was nothing throughout the season to hint towards this, to build up towards this. It literally felt so random and out of place when it was revealed to live at the end of the football game. I was like, what secret? All of a sudden there's a new twist to this. There was nothing before hinting that you were a different character, or Ghostface even hinting that you had some sort of secret past other than you let your brother perish that night on Halloween. So the twist didn't feel earned, but still nonetheless, it was surprising and cool. Also awesome that they got Tony Todd in there. Candyman himself fought Ghostface. We live in a world where Candyman fought Ghostface and he had his claw. Brilliant. I just wish that fight went on a little longer. Also, the deaths in this season, really fantastic. Really pushed the limit. I can't believe what they showed on TV. Amir had the worst death of them all, and he was a sweetheart, man. He was kind of supposed to be like a Randy, but he more just came off as the nerd since he didn't have all the movie knowledge. And again, some of his character traits didn't line up with what he did later in the season, because you build him up in the first 2 episodes to be this really nice guy of, I'm not gonna sleep with you, I'd rather rather be your friend. I was like, no, I don't want my friends to die. I will go after them. And all of a sudden, he's the one who chooses Dion to die via text to Ghostface. Sure, he's the nerd and is probably weak, but again, that felt out of character since you kept building him up to be this good person that wouldn't do that. And then he did that. Plus, you can't really get all that mad at him when Dion was voting himself to be chosen, and he kind of went along with it, so. And was anyone else annoyed why the cops were not involved in this season? Because Ghostface never directly said, except until one point, but by then, a lot of people had died that it's like, why didn't you contact the police yet? Like, literally, multiple students in this school are gone now and are victims of Ghostface, and there's no police interrogations, there's no kids being questioned, there's no school shutdown. All the other incarnations of Scream, whether you had season 1 or 2 of the TV show or the movies, when people start going off, police get involved, people get questioned, stuff gets searched, things are revealed, and this season people are gone and no one cares. Nothing happens in this town. You still have your football games, you still have your raving parties. It just added to the layer of this season. When someone is gone, it doesn't matter because moments later the story has to continue because we only have 6 episodes and we gotta rush this story through. And of course they end it with a cliffhanger, no caller ID calling. I don't know why you gotta do that because honestly I don't even know if we're gonna get a Scream season 4. We might actually, because the season has been getting amazing ratings, more views than anything of Scream season 1 or 2 on MTV, so maybe they'll do something else, but I'll be honest, I don't know if I want the same cast to come back for season 4. I would rather them kind of continue season 1 or 2 and just pretend like 3 didn't happen and give us one last good Scream season with that old cast, because man, that show did it perfectly with building characters you like, have those characters perish and you actually feel bad. Heck, I'm still hurting over Riley's death in that season, and she was only in it for like 3 episodes. I don't know, but that was just my thoughts on Scream Resurrection, guys. Kind of disappointed, but hey, it was good to see someone put on the mask and wield the knife just one more time. Be sure to leave me your thoughts down below, whether they're spoiler-free or spoilerish. Anything and everything. I love talking Scream. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.